This podcast is brought to you by Aetna. Learn how Aetna is working to build a healthier world by visiting aetnastory.com.
Hi, it's Doro, and I'm so excited to announce that the Achieving Optimal Health Conference is just around the corner on October 26th at Georgetown University. For our Health Gig listeners, we have a special offer. If you sign up by September 20th, you'll get $50 off your ticket. Just go to achievingoptimalhealthconference.com and use the code HealthGig. Get ready to create a happier and healthier life story. People are yearning for information, having the opportunity to encourage people and to educate people and inspire people.
It's amazing to be able to say we'll carve out time to take care of ourselves.
There's something for everyone.
Welcome to the BB&R Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Riley Cook.
And I'm your host, Dora Bush Cook.
Thank you for listening. We are so excited that we get to do this podcast and help people learn how to take better care of themselves by interviewing thought leaders and experts in health and wellness about their personal health journeys.
This week, we're welcoming Denise Austin and her daughter, Katie, to the show. Denise is a pioneer in the fitness industry. She's a member of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, and she's been a regular on the Today Show. And she has her own shows on ESPN and Lifetime. And Katie is following in her mother's footsteps and leading a whole new generation of women into fitness. Denise is also a lifelong friend and one of the first speakers at our Achieving Optimal Health Conference 7 years ago. The thing about Denise is that she is so positive. You can't help but love her.
In our conversation today, Denise and Katie share their tips on how to improve your daily fitness and what we can all do to maintain our physical health at any age.
We hope you enjoy our conversation with Denise and Katie. We'll circle back around to you at the end of the program. I am so happy today. I'm so happy because Tricia and I get to welcome two wonderful friends to our podcast, Denise and Katie Austin. And Denise and Jeff Austin have really been lifelong friends of our family, and everyone in our family loves Denise. And Katie is a good friend of my daughter Gigi's. Katie and Gigi were at USC together. Gigi tells me that Katie was the best big sister you could imagine having at her sorority. They were in the same sorority, and Katie really mentored Gigi and all the women at USC. So we're just so thrilled that you're both here, and I want Tricia to remind you. Tricia, tell Denise and Katie what you reminded me about yesterday.
Okay, we were in hysterics when we were, preparing for today and doing the research. Denise, long time ago, 19 years ago, right? We were at Margaret's play, Doro's sister-in-law, Margaret, who's the actress, right? Marvin's wife. And you leaned over and you said to me, hey, do you want to be on my show? I'm doing a pregnant woman's yoga video tomorrow, and we could really use you since I was 9 months pregnant, right? Yes. And I said, yes. So the very next day I came to your house. I was so excited. And I came up, wasn't really sure exactly what to wear. And we went in your closet and you pulled out this adorable exercise leotard that you wore when you were 9 months pregnant. And we both looked at it and we kind of quickly realized, well, it wouldn't work for us. So we found another one, but it was the highlight of my pregnancy and pretty much the highlight of my life. So anyway, thank you for that.
I remember it perfectly, Tricia. You were so beautiful and very pregnant and very energetic for you were 9 months pregnant. How old is the baby now?
19. So that's 19. Her name's Jenna, and she just turned 19 yesterday. So that's why when we were laughing so hard, I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway.
Oh, I love hearing that. It makes me feel it all comes full circle.
It all comes full circle. Exactly.
So let's just begin, and because we have so many things we want to talk to you about. But Denise, you are such a pioneer in the fitness industry, and you really were ahead of your time in incorporating movement and health into your daily routine. So If you could just begin by telling us how that came to be, tell us a little bit about your story and how you got into all of this.
Well, first of all, I was a gymnast as a child and got a full athletic scholarship to college and competed in gymnastics and then received my degree in exercise physiology. And then in 1981, I met Jack LaLanne and he gave me my first start on television and I loved it. And so I saw him at a conference and I ran up to him and I said, "Oh my gosh, Jack, my mom loves you, my grandpa loves you, and we all think you're the best. Can I come on your show?" And he said, "Absolutely." So I got an opportunity, and he gave me my first opportunity on TV, and him and his wife, Elaine LaLanne, became close mentors and friends of mine for his 34 years that I was with him. And I was honored to speak at a celebration of life a couple of years ago. So we stayed very close friends. I would call him up and say, "Tell me, what do you think about this?" and get a lot of opinions from him. And he was an amazing mentor of mine. And then I went on to doing my own television show in 1983 when I married my husband. And then we moved to Washington, D.C., where I met your beautiful family, Doro. And then I started on the Today Show in 1984.
Wow.
When Bryant Gumbel and Willard Scott and Jane Pauley, and I was the first woman to do an exercise workout segment on the Today Show in 1984. And it was such a hit, I became their regular fitness consultant. Once a month, I would do segments about health and wellness. And then from there, I got my own show on ESPN because I always wanted someone to have a 30-minute morning workout. Wake up and work out. So in 1986, right when ESPN was starting, I had my show Getting Fit with Denise on ESPN for 10 years. And then I moved to Lifetime Television for 14 more years to do exercise more targeted for women because women is, that's the target audience. ESPN was all male at the time. So I had a show on there. So altogether, I had a TV show, you guys, for 24 years straight,
Wow.
every week. Yes, and I still hold the record, as Jack told me years ago, that I was the most longest running consecutive television show in the history of fitness television.
Wow.
So in the years I did exercise workout videos, because back in the day they were VHSs and DVDs.
Yes.
So I turned it all into kind of my own website that is all directed more online to teach people how to stay healthy, eat right, and kind of wellness and Denisiology, fitness and healthy tips. And I'm really excited with hitting 60 now.
Incredible.
As the new ambassador for AARP.
Yes.
To really help people out there to say, us too, we can work out after 50, and there's lots of ways to stay in shape and feel better, because that's what it's all about, how to feel good about yourself and your health and your wellness. I tell people you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have good health, it means nothing. So take care of yourself. Exercise is the best preventative medicine we have. So keep moving, and throughout the day, there's little things we can do to really help our bodies. So I'd love to share some of those tips with you as well.
Yeah, we would love to hear those. As we said, we were sitting here a lot, and they say sitting is the new smoking, right?
Yes.
What does that mean, and how would you respond to that?
Well, first of all, when we're sitting, our metabolism completely slows down, and the circulation in our body is interrupted by the hip area. So one of the best things to do throughout the day is to kind of circulate. Our muscles don't know if we're in the kitchen, in the office, or in a fancy gym. So there's little things like isometrics you could do to keep the circulation going. Circulation is what helps heal your body. So moving is so important throughout the day. The average American sits for 7.5 hours every day. So there's little things you could do right now, like sit up nice and tall.
Okay, we're
Think
doing
about
it.
good
We're sitting up.
posture. You are your own architect by the way you sit, by the way you stand. So always think about good posture. Pull in the abdominals. Learn to train your abdominals to pull in. There's a place for them. Don't let it all just hang and sag. Make sure you kind of pull it up and in. Be aware of it. Little things like that. If you can tighten up your abdominals, pull them up and in, tighten them for 5 seconds, that's equivalent to one sit-up. These are isometric exercises that truly do help. You can do it with your buttocks, girls. Come on. Just beat your buttocks right now. Tighten up your tushies for 5 seconds.
We're doing it.
These are working to firm and tone our muscles, and they create circulation and oxygen to flow to those areas, especially when you're sitting and you're kind of getting seat-itis, I call it.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that is such, again, I mean, I'm stating the obvious, and I think this is why you are a legend and a pioneer, is you really bring things, make it simple. Like, I just sat here and just did 4 sit-ups.
Great.
By sitting here talking to you.
Step up those abs.
I can't actually do the back yet, but I will when I stand up. That's incredible.
It is incredible. I have a question for Katie. Katie, do you remember when you realized you didn't just have an ordinary mom?
Yes. So to me, I mean, we grew up in Virginia, so it's a little bit different here in LA now because there's like, you know, so many different famous people in Los Angeles now. But in Virginia, my mom was just kind of, I don't know, she was kind of idolized in a way, I guess. And even grocery stores, even airports, I realized it. I feel like I realized it when I was little because people in grocery stores would come up to her a lot and be like, "Oh my God, what's in your grocery cart? What are you buying? We want to know."
Oreos.
Yeah. Or in the airport, people, women would come up to her and be like, "Oh my God, you saved my life." And so just really cool, you know, hearing these women's stories and feeling like my mom is just such an amazing like lifesaver to them, which was really cool.
Yeah. Jack LaLanne, we love doing a little or remembering about Jack LaLanne.
It was so fun.
Who was your mom's mentor? Is your mom your mentor?
Yes, for sure. I would have to say that. And everything she just mentioned, I definitely have some big shoes to fill, but she helps me almost every single day we work together. And it can be kind of hard, you know, working with your mom because I teach her everything about social media and like the digital world. And then she teaches me, you know, what's appropriate in fitness and I don't know, just how to act in general in the fitness industry. And so she really mentors me in almost every single aspect with that. And I feel so lucky that I have not only a mentor that's so, you know, such a legend in the fitness industry, but it's also your mom, which is a really cool part because she can really tell you every single detail and help you genuinely from the core, not just like a mentor. You know, I don't know, we're related. She's my mom, so she cares so deeply and she's so passionate about what I'm doing too. So it's really cool.
It is so cool. And I guess, Denise, let's flip it
And
back.
I love it too.
I was going to say, what do you think, Denise? What's it like to have
I love
Katie?
it because it's kind of like my second act in my career.
Yes, yeah, we want to talk about that.
Like that though.
It gives me so much joy and to work every day now. It gives me a new direction, and I love it so much because it's something that means so. For her to choose this career is really wonderful for me because at the same time I'm very protective because I am her mom, and it's so different than it was when I started 35 years ago. So I love it just because, you know, when you hit a certain age and your kids grow up and they're in college and you feel like you need to make a new mark in your career and try something new and fresh and rejuvenate what I've done for 35 years. So it has been truly like the best thing that's ever happened to me because I love to work with her because she has so much knowledge in the social world, which in the website. She helps me with, she started my Instagram. And so for the new world, she's like incredibly smart. And for me to be able to say, oh, Katie, don't use that picture. Oh my gosh. The world is seeing that picture. Oh no. It was so different back in TV and versus the websites and the media now.
Right. What you built over all these years, 35 years, and you did it again in this way, Denise, that you were so positive. And I think sitting back and watching what you grew, this business, this industry, you're a legend, and you raised these two amazing daughters. How do you speak to that? And I would imagine there were some challenging times during that time, but yet you always appear so positive. Could you talk about that?
Well, to me, family is everything. So I honestly, my career was as much as I put into it, but when they turned into high schoolers and they were really excited and seeing that they could get scholarships to college in lacrosse, I pretty much just gave speeches and did, my TV shows that I need to do. But I became truly a full-time mom because I was always a full-time mom. But honestly, when they're in high school, you kind of need to be there at every single thing because it's so short-lived. And I realized that early on. So truly, my career was secondary to my husband and I bringing up our daughters. That so happy that I was able to be. I rarely missed their games just because I work around my schedule. And honestly, it was it's a blessing that the type of job I had, I picked my own hours. And by 3:00, I would tell everyone, you could call me from 8 to 3 p.m. And they'd say, well, I need to do it at 4. I'm saying, sorry, 3:00's my limit. So I wanted to do after school for them. And so it just worked. And I made that happen. And I think it was a priority to me because truly my family is everything to me. So I don't ever, and I never thought I was anybody. I just did my job as, I loved what I did. So it became just all part of me. And it's a true joy because, as we age and there's new knowledge of little things that we should do as we age for brain health. So I love that I was on the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, that I'm still friends with the top doctors that I could ask their opinion about certain vitamins and certain herbs, because it's also important as we age. We want to know what's the best way to stay healthy forever.
What would you say? Do you make recommendations on what kind of vitamins people should take, or do you pretty much...
I truly don't, just because every body is different. I'm still my biggest proponent for everyone, no matter how old they are, is movement and exercise and preventative. And I go into eating, because I tell them what I eat.
Right.
Because I'm a true believer in balancing and breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't starve. I've always been a moderate, and I don't believe in, 100 vitamins every day. I take certain ones, just a probiotic, omega-3, just because those are the two things that my body needs. And also, everyone should get their blood work done by their doctor. And truly, I'm a true believer in every year getting a checkup and all our tests. And I just think it's so important for all of us. Heart disease is the #1 killer still for Americans. And there's so much that we can help prevent. And every day is a new day to stay in shape and to eat a little healthier. Of course, I eat well 80% of the time, and then have my treats 20% of the time too. And I balance it because I enjoy life, and food is fabulous. I'm from a huge family, and all we talk about is food. Like I'm going tonight with all 3 of my sisters out to dinner. All 4 of us will be together. So I believe in a good attitude and always have. And I always say to myself, and I did when I was a little girl, I just always believed that I could help people and make their life better. And I always wanted to make my mom happy because she was such a good person. And so I made it happen. I wanted to do gymnastics so she'd be proud of me. And I just honestly love people, and I like to be around people. And I believe in a good attitude comes from within, but you could create it for yourself. And I truly believe that a lot of things do happen. Of course, I've lost my mom, I've lost people, and it brings you so down and so sad. But you have to realize that's not what they want for you. You need to realize that you can be happy from within. And it's an important part of me to say, okay, and I can tell people, why be a grouch when you can be happy? It's up to you. There are 3 things in life that are truly up to you. How you feel about yourself. So think positive and how you think. And then what you eat. So eat healthy. And then how you move. So it's up to you. So it is a choice. And I think it's a good choice. And of course, there are days that things aren't going right. And that's just a natural part. But you get over the humps a little quicker if you have a good attitude. And sometimes I believe it really does. I have a good faith in my life, and I believe in good in people. I truly do. And I always try to find the best out of a situation or a person. So even if you feel, hurt by somebody, there's a way to make it feel a little better.
This podcast today has been brought to you by Ignite Coffee from BB&R Wellness. We developed a proprietary mixture of specialty-grade coffee beans and an amazing blend of anti-inflammatory spices, including turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, matcha, and anche chilies, so you can do more than just wake up in the morning.
Order Ignite Coffee at www.bbrconsulting.us. Enjoy your coffee and ignite your life. A little shift here, but when I think of you, Denise, the one word association, the word that pops in my head is positive. And I wanted to ask Katie, there's so much negativity passed along on social media. And Katie, how do you remain positive and encourage your followers on Instagram to remain positive about their body image, regardless of your shape or your size?
Yeah, I think that's really big with social media right now, just because as Instagram rose in the past few years, people just started looking at other people's accounts and kind of like girls my age and, like teens, and they would just feel really bad about themselves. I think that to stay positive while looking at Instagram is to not compare yourself to other people. And I try to say that message a lot in my blogs and my Instagram, because comparison will really hurt your self-esteem. So if you only focus on yourself and you focus on yourself, self-love, a lot of my motto and a lot of my blogs and YouTube videos are all about like self-love and confidence and how you can grow your confidence, because a lot of the fitness industry is focused on how you can get that 6-pack and how you can like lose 10 pounds. And while that is awesome and that will make you feel good, the one important thing as a girl growing up is definitely to feel confident, and that's within. So definitely getting fit for yourself and self-love, and just knowing not to compare. I saw a quote the other day that I really liked about, Instagram is like a highlight reel. So don't compare like your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. And I try to tell that. Yeah. So I try to tell that to the girls that follow me, because like my life is definitely not all my Instagram. My Instagram is probably like 5% of my life. And I do so many other things that people, that are behind the scenes that people just don't see. So I try to definitely tell that to the girls.
Denise, so much is going on about longevity, and that we're all hopefully going to be living longer, healthier lives. How do you see that affecting people's activity levels?
Well, that's why I believe in a little every day. Mm-hmm. And if you overdo it, it's too hard on your body and stressful on your body. Mm-hmm. So I'm such a martyr when I begin teaching people who are over 50, just because you need to ease into things, and you don't want to over exaggerate heavy weights, because then your joints will, take. So we have other issues to worry about, like our backs, our knees, our shoulders. And so a little goes a long way every day. So I don't want people to overdo it. And, it's really hard on your bodies, stress wise.
Right.
Same with eating. So ease into, eating maybe less, calories a day, but don't starve yourself. So everything has an effect. So balance is very important. And I've always promoted that, but even more so now,
even more so now.
that
Yeah.
we need to take care of ourselves, for longevity. There's little things, sleep is so important as we age, and how to get a good night's sleep. I stretch for about 3 to 5 minutes every single night before I go to bed. And Jeff and I take off all our phones and TVs. You need about an hour to ease your eyes into a good restful sleep. So I tell people, don't bring that laptop to your bed. That's like bad news. So there's little things that will help you sleep naturally. I'm into natural sleep. So I really, truly think there's a lot of little things people can do. And in the big picture, not just one thing, but, overall, and being with friends and with family to connect and feel the most important feeling is to feel appreciated. So tell people in your family how much you appreciate them. Like your cute little brother called me last night to make sure our family's okay with the fires.
Oh, I know.
Just the connection is so important as we age. And I know that even more now because the kids are away, they're doing their thing. And now what we have is, the connection of our loved ones and dear friends.
Which is why what you all are doing together is so great. And because your strong mother-daughter relationship must make you feel healthier. And
Yes, it does.
that's so great.
It's really fun.
Mm-hmm. Katie, I read a little bit that you, and I've seen on your Instagram, that you love to cook. And so is there any simple sort of recipe at the top of your head that you can share with all of us?
Ooh, the top of my head.
That might be hard.
Well,
Okay.
I love cooking. There's a lot of them. But my advice for healthy cooking would be make it simple. Just like your workouts, make eating clean very simple, because a lot of recipes out there have you, making your healthy meals with over 20 ingredients, and maybe you don't even have that ingredient at the grocery store, at your local grocery store. So taking it all 7 ingredients or less is what like my food guide is about. So, and I love making healthy bowls. So usually I have like a grain at the bottom, so quinoa or brown rice, and then I put like grilled chicken on top, and then avocado, and then at least 2 vegetables. So maybe zucchini and broccoli. Yeah.
That sounds really good.
That sounds so
We're
good.
so hungry.
She is a true, Katie is our true chef in our family.
It's so good.
On your show, your television show, will you have a cooking segment?
Yes, we
Good.
would love to.
That would be so good.
That's her forte. Katie is a really good chef. When I used to travel years ago when she was young, she would make Jeff and Kelly dinner all the time, even in 6th grade. So she's always cooked, and she could think of really good, healthy recipes. She puts one cookie tray and fills it with different veggies and garlic and olive oil, and it could be a meal in itself. And then she makes these really good turkey burgers with lots of onions. And oh my gosh, she makes really good food.
That's so good.
Thanks, Mom.
Come on, feed me something.
Exactly.
Denise, when you came to our conference, you shared a lot of tips with everybody. And so if there's just one tip each of you could leave with us on how to lead a healthier life, what would that be?
Mine would be about your posture. I'm a true believer in keeping your back healthy. Your spine is your lifeline. So keep it healthy, keep it strong. And posture is the key to that. So always, wherever you are, sitting, standing, in the grocery store, anytime, just relax your shoulders, pull in your abs, really real good posture and stand up nice and tall. Make yourself taller, like by 1 inch each time, and you'll feel so much better. The oxygen will flow better, but most importantly, you'll keep your back in a perfect alignment. And that's one idea I have people do is line yourself up against the wall, lengthen your neck, and feel the back pressing in and relax it. And that way you'll give yourself throughout the day a wonderful way to keep your organs in place, keep everything in the right posture, and you feel better too. The oxygen flows better and it really does help. So good posture throughout the day keeps your tummy tight. If you're slouched over, your tummy has nowhere else to go but pooch out. But if you sit up tall, stand up tall, it has a place to stay, and retrain those muscles to pull in. And there you've got a healthier body.
That is such an important tip. And I'm just thinking here about how all of us are texting often, leaning over. We're at our computers, leaning over. And so many chiropractors and other doctors that we're talking to are talking about how there's major neck issues now that's just related to texting.
Yeah, so lengthen that neck, everyone. Stand up tall.
That's a really, really important tip.
So
As soon
Katie,
as you were saying that, I was straightening my back and realizing I had bad posture, Mom.
I know, same here,
too,
us
us
too.
too.
And it feels really good to put your shoulders back.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
I would have to say my last tip would create yourself a mantra. I'm really big on mantras. I love saying to myself something new every single morning, and it kind of makes you get up out of bed in the morning and be excited for your day. So something that inspires you, something that motivates you every single day, maybe write it above your bed. And yeah, I think a mantra is really huge to be positive.
That is great.
You can do it.
You can do it. Yeah, this is your one life. Yes.
well,
If you rest, you'll rust.
Oh,
that's
good.
a good one.
That's good.
That's a good one. Denise, we love you, and we're just so thrilled that you came on the show. And Katie, we are so inspired by your message to young women of self-love and positive body image. And so just congratulations to you. And we love both of you. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh,
Thank you for having us. Great.
Bye.
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 Thank you for joining us on Health Gig. We loved having you with us. We hope you'll tune in again next week. In the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast and follow us on healthgigpod.com. I'm Trisha.
And I'm Doro.
Be well.